Welcome to Chatter Hoochee. I'm Matt.
And I'm George. And this week we are talking about a ton of stuff. The Opry 100, we're talking about the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and we're talking about whether or not you should stand up at a gig.
And also another British singer featuring at the Bluebird Cafe. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Chatter Hoochee.
Before we get going, if you could just take a second to like, subscribe, follow, and if you want to share, it just really helps us to get the good guests for the show and keep up the Chatter Hoochee content that we all love. Shall we start there then? Who's that?
Well, I can't believe when I saw this. Obviously, last week we spoke about Ed Sheeran having a little round with Megan Maroney at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. This time, Gary Barlow was singing Back for Good in a little writers' round at the Bluebird Cafe.
I can't believe he sang like a Take That song.
Yeah. Well, what else has he got to sing?
I don't know, like cover a country song? I don't know.
Yeah, random, rogue. I did honestly on the list of things on your bingo card for 2025. Gary Barlow at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville was nowhere near it, nowhere near it.
Not the one.
But I feel like I don't know how I feel about this. He put in his post that basically he said he's always wanted to do it, an iconic place. I mean, obviously, naturally, you just don't think, do you?
I mean,
but
loads of people want to go and play football at Manchester United Stadium. Doesn't mean they should.
That's true. Although at the moment, not many want to do that. But that's a whole other separate issue. But
that's my extent of football knowledge. It was the first team I could think of.
But I'm wondering if we're just going to throw a name out there. Is there a name in like a UK artist or singer-songwriter, whatever, that you're like, I could see them at the Bluebird? Who are you saying instantly? Like first name that comes to mind.
Not like a UK artist, but like it's got to be Sabrina Carpenter or someone like that. Of like, who's, but like, I feel like the Bluebird is sacred. Like the Ryman, it's sacred. Not that I'm hating on Gary Barlow. I'm not hating on Gary Barlow.
I don't know what the formula is. Like, how do you get in there? Like, do you know what I mean? How do you? What is the conditions to be like, right, you can be on a writers' round? Like, because how many people in Nashville know who Gary Barlow is? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe more than you think. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's a pretty well-known musician.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, admittedly, I feel like Robbie Williams might be a bit more known out there, but
yeah,
there we go. That was one thing I was just in shock to see that, but brilliant at the same time.
And then, speaking of other things that were going on in Nashville, big moments, we had the Opry 100. 100 years or 100 episodes? No, 100 years.
100
episode of
100 years. There's like 300 episodes a year, so
100 years of the grand old Opry.
Yes, and obviously part of their celebrations is they did announce last year that they're bringing the Opry to the Royal Albert Hall at some point. We're still awaiting details of this, and I feel like time is moving on, so I feel like they're going to be like, we're coming next week, and this is what's happening, buy tickets now. That's what I'm scared about. It was
October this year.
Did they say October? I don't can't remember.
Producer Mia, I thought they'd said like an autumn winter date, because I was like, am I going to be here? Am I not?
Possibly. I don't recall seeing a date. Maybe I was just so excited I just glazed over that completely.
I do make a lot of stuff up though, so
all for good reason. But
2025. Oh, I could have sworn. I've really got like October, November in my head.
Maybe it's happening. Maybe it's happening. Hopefully we get something coming soon.
Okay, autumn. So there we go.
Okay, so it's got to be announced very soon. But yes, the Opry 100. The official birthday was it like last Wednesday? A whole host of names were there. Blake Shelton hosted it, and there were some amazing moments from the light. One of which was Post Malone and Ashley McBryde duetting together. Johnny and June song. He actually stepped in for Jelly Roll last minute because Jelly Roll was had to cancel due to illness, unfortunately. So Post Malone jumped right in. But as I say, Blake Shelton hosted it. so many names across the night, all performing together on that stage, and they're all there at the end. One moment was Carly Pearce doing something to honor Dolly Parton. She sang Jolene, and I did read in the last couple of days that while singing that, she was staring Michael Ray's ex-girlfriend in the eyes.
Love that.
And then probably one of the most memorable moments of the night was Carrie Underwood
Yeah, I
and
shared this on
Randy
my
Travis.
Instagram. It was so beautiful, but also what a tearjerker. She, Randy Travis, front row, obviously country music icon, living legend. She sang his song.
Yes,
Yeah,
three wooden crosses and forever and ever. Amen.
yeah, and handed him the mic at the end, and he sang the final amen. And he was
Yeah.
just looked. No, honestly, I could cry thinking about it now. He just looked so happy and like, yeah, it was just beautiful.
It was just a moment. And them two have a special bond because Carrie was actually inducted as a member of the Opry in 2008 by Randy himself. So I feel like there's obviously been a long-standing
Yeah,
friendship there, and to have that moment at the Opry on that night to honor him in that way was, yeah, felt like a very special moment.
yeah,
And
it was super special.
it was a
Go and
tearjerker.
check out her Opry Instagram, someone's Instagram.
Someone's gonna have it on Instagram.
Yeah, there's a nice clip of it, but make sure you got your tissues because it's just lovely.
They just do it so well, the Opry, like, and to have that kind of community and that membership and just everyone just loves it.
Yeah.
Like the whole country community is like so hooked on the Grand Ole Opry and what it symbolizes and what it brings, and that's what it brings. It brings everyone together.
Yeah, and if you think of like just your average Opry night, it's so special for the artists, but it's also so special for the fans because it's like it's it's such a monumental moment for us to go to the Opry as it is for the
Mm,
artist to perform. So
mm,
there's so much weight in each night. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're seeing someone perform at the, I don't know, MEN Arena. It's not even the AO Arena. Like
mm,
it's it's a super poignant moment for the artist, but also like for the fans. They've travelled from across the world to spend a night at the Opry.
yeah. And every night at the Opry is unique.
Yeah,
Like you're not going to get that lineup. Do you know what I mean? In that moment, like that again. Like it just is what it is. Every night is different, and there's always upcoming artists, independent artists, and the artists get bigger and bigger all on one night. It's just yeah, so good. But we don't need to tell everyone how good the Opera is, I suppose, but we are anyway. But people know this. But it's just so special, and 100 years,
yeah,
like 100 years.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't even seem real. 1925. There you go, quick maths. 1925. That would have started.
yeah. Long time, and it started as a like a radio, like it is still a radio show, and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I think people forget that as well. Like every night they are broadcasting live
yeah,
as a radio
yeah,
show, which is so cool to be part of.
yeah. And how it's all evolved. So it's WSM, isn't it? And then how it's all evolved, then turned into a TV show. And then obviously now you can watch it on YouTube,
Yeah.
like live, I think, at points, depending on where you are. But yeah, yeah, I'd love to see an opera show one day. I didn't the last time I went to Nashville.
Did you not
Did a
go?
tour. I did a tour of the Opry, but I didn't see a show. The night we were leaving, Maddie and Tay were playing, and we thought it'd be really good to go. But it was the night we were going, if it was typical. But but it can be hard to get tickets as well.
Oh yeah, they
But
sell out super quick. It's like trying to get tickets
yeah,
to the Ryman or to the Bluebird. Like they sell
yeah,
out before anyone even knows who's playing. It's just the
what's happening?
experience of being there.
Yeah, but yeah. Next time, go to Nashville. An Opry night is definitely on the cards, no matter what is going on,
That
for
is
sure.
where I fell in love with Ashley McBryde.
Is it?
So I went to the Opry in 2018,
Mm,
7 years ago this summer. Um, and you get like, it's not just like big country music artists. Like we had Riders in the Sky that were like little old cowboys yodeling, and like there's a ton of fun stuff on that stage as well. But there was Brett Young, and Ashley McBryde are the two that I remember. And Ashley McBryde was introduced as a whiskey drinking badass. And I was like, who is this woman? Obviously, she's not whiskey drinking anymore, but she's still a badass. And then she performed and a Bible and a 34. Oh my God, crying my eyes out. Stunning. And I was like, this woman is a bit of me. And I've been obsessed with her ever since.
It's just, it doesn't feel real. It's a bit surreal when you're there. Like, it doesn't feel real. It's just one of those places that you walk in, you're like, I don't know, you just feel it all around you, don't you?
Yeah.
And like what's gone on there and kind of like just what it represents and all the people that performed on that stage in the circle, like, yeah.
Does like any other genre have anything comparable? I don't think they do.
I don't think so. I not in the way, not like that.
Like the equivalent of stepping into the circle, what would that be? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if
It's a
there
good
is.
question. It's a good question. If there is anyone listening who loves other genres, please let us know because we love country.
Yeah. Really interesting to know. But also, very big, poignant things that are happening. Trisha Yearwood is being inducted, honoured, with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. And then we've just asked producer Mia, like, who else is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame as a country music artist? And we've got Carrie Underwood, Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn, Dolly, Shania, Patsy Cline, Blake Shelton, Loretta Lynn, Kenny Rogers, Randy Travis, Dwight Yoakam, Reba McEntire, The Judds, loads. There's actually a lot of country music artists on the Walk of Fame. So Trisha Yearwood is the latest one to be added to that, and Carly Pearce, I think, is going to help her celebrate, which is very exciting.
Very exciting. Did you see also that Garth and Trisha were bartenders this week in their Nashville bar?
No.
Friends in Low Places. They turned up as a little surprise on Broadway, and they got behind the bar and were serving cocktails.
Oh my God, love that.
That's the dream, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's just what a life.
Are they just like besties?
What, Garth and Trisha?
Yeah.
They're married.
No, she's married to Tim McGraw. Oh no, that's Faith. Oh, sorry, I've got Trisha and Faith mixed up. Garth and Trisha, got ya. Yeah.
Are they besties?
Such a fake.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, they are. They are besties. So besties.
Probably. I mean,
married.
Yeah, not wrong.
I mean, obviously, why wouldn't they be? But yeah,
Tim McGraw is probably someone who would be next up for Hollywood Walk of Fame star, don't you think?
Well, it sounds like he's already got one in that list.
He's not on there.
He is.
Tim McGraw is not on that list.
After Reba, down the bottom.
Oh yeah. Shall I go home? Shall I just go to bed?
You are home. You are home.
Anyway.
It's all good. But no, yeah, a very good moment. And yeah, so it's been busy for Trisha. Trisha's been busy.
Trisha's been busy marrying a best mate.
Marrying a best mate.
Have you been seeing the Nate Smith and Hardy beef? I say with inverted commas for all our non-visual listeners.
And yeah, I haven't seen this, and I said to you before, like, I don't imagine Nate Smith having beef with anyone.
See, Nate Smith and Hardy are pals. Like, they just released Nobody Likes Your Girlfriend. Like, I think they write together a lot. So I'm not buying it. I think it's all like tongue in cheek. But they're saying, like, Hardy released a video like, I don't want to be beaten to the punch or whatever, but I'm a buddy of mine teased a song and that's my song, so I'm gonna give you a bit more of a tease. And then he played it, and then I went to Nate Smith's profile, and Nate Smith's got like a really similar video. But I swear this, like, I don't know if I'm just being an idiot, but I can't marry the songs together, so unsure on what's happening.
Is this like the equivalent of Ella Langley unfollowing Megan Maroney because of Riley Green? Like, is this like
I don't know. I feel like the Megan Maroney, Riley Green, Ella Langley love triangle was more serious than I can't imagine this is a serious thing. It doesn't feel serious.
No, I can't imagine Hardy being serious about anything.
No, or Nate Smith.
Nate Smith
is the nicest guy, and I can say that because I've met him.
He's easygoing, right? Easygoing guy.
He's so nice
just loving his life.
that he Did we talk about this last time about on his
I don't know if
walkout?
we did.
So
I
he's
can't remember.
we're backstage waiting to go down to go side stage for Nate Smith's set. Shabuzi's just finished. We've gone to get a drink, and then we were going back for Nate Smith. And we interviewed. I interviewed him earlier in the day, but was with Maxim and Dixie from Holler. So he's met us all, like chatted to us all. We're just before, so he comes out of the dressing room, goes down the corridor, and then he goes back like behind to come up to go onto the stage, and we were just stood like not side stage, but not like backstage, but I don't know, I can't explain it. Anyway, he comes down and he like we're stood here. He comes down and he has to go like that way. But he comes down, spots us, and he's like, "Oh my god, hi, how you doing? You having a good time?" We're like, "Oh my god, Dave, have a great show." And he's like, "It's good to see you." When he could have literally just gone like he didn't
Yeah.
need to. He was literally on his walkout to go perform to 20,000 people. Like he didn't need to stop and say hello, but he made such a fuss of us, and I was like, "Love you, Nate."
That's so like what is that's what I mean. Like you're literally on that walkout to an
To
arena
play one of the
full.
biggest shows of his life, like a 20,000 arena in the UK.
Like what is going through your head at that point?
Not I had an interview with these guys earlier, let's say hello. Like, yeah, it's so
But
cool.
maybe that's what helps him. Maybe that's what like I don't know, just really takes him back to reality for a minute and just
Yeah,
helps him forget that he's just about to walk in front of 20,000 people and play one of the biggest sets of his life.
maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
Anyway, got a lot of time for Nate Smith, so if Hardy pisses him off, then we're
Yeah,
coming
not
for
sure
him.
what's going on there. I'm sure it's all
I'm
fine.
sure it's all
I'm
fine.
sure it's all fine. There won't be any beef. The big news that we'll say big news, but we've been looking a lot at Kelsey Ballerini recently. I feel like we've had a topic
Oh,
for
it's the
Kelsey over
Kelsey
the last.
Ballerini podcast.
It's the Kelsey. It was the Mega Maroney podcast, but now it's the Kelsey Ballerini podcast. We spoke about her cover of the deluxe edition of Patterns, which is out right now, which maybe made her look a little bit possessed. Then before that, we spoke about the fact she got, is it Angie Ray,
Right.
who she's got on The Voice with her on stage in, well, I can't remember where it was, on one of the cities on the tour. And she's also not been very well on the tour. So we've had a whole lot of coverage for Kelsey Ballerini on Chatter Hoochee recently. But there's been a lot of videos of her. What song is it that she does this? Is it Penthouse?
It's the one where she's like, "I kissed someone new last night. Now I don't care where you're sleeping, baby."
Yeah.
What is
What
that?
is that? It's Penthouse. I think it's Penthouse.
No, I
It
don't think it is. Is it Rolling Up?
is Penthouse. Yes, it's Penthouse.
Okay,
Um,
fine.
in the early days, people would be basically shouting and saying bad things about Morgan Evans.
You can say it, Matt.
Okay, people would say.
Not bad things about Morgan Evans.
I was just trying to be a family podcast for a minute, but then thought, fuck it.
Why start doing that this week?
People would say and shout, "Fuck you,
There you
Morgan,"
go.
in the early days. That felt good.
Didn't it happen?
And
Didn't it happen when she came to the UK in London?
it did. And I'm pretty sure that gig that we both went to was one of the first nights she played that song live, because that album came out in between her finishing her US dates and then coming to the UK. Penthouse. So in the gap, at some point in that song, people were saying "fuck you, Morgan," and basically now Kelsey's had enough of it. She's like, "Look, I'm over it. You need to stop saying that," and that's fair enough. But
Has
she's
she said it though? Has she said stop saying it, or does she just shake her head disapprovingly in the song?
I have seen some clips of her saying like, "No, like you can stop that now,"
Yeah.
basically.
I think she did initially like giggle. Like I think it was
Yeah,
maybe funny the first time, but in the song, do you know in her most recent the deluxe version of Hindsight is Happiness, there's a line that says my laughter wasn't funny. Do you think that's what she's talking about? I laughed, it wasn't funny. I wonder, hands were bloody, made it about the money. I laughed, it wasn't funny. Damn. I don't know. I mean, it could
could
be anything,
be.
but it fits.
It could well be. But yeah, but fair enough. Like she's clearly obviously gone through that journey of the first time finding it funny, and maybe she was still in that kind of arena where she was like, yeah, do you know what? Fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
thank you very much. But now, how, like, 18 months, I don't even know, 2 years nearly has passed. Um, she's in a new happy relationship, and she's over it.
Yeah.
She's over it. So, um, yeah, the fuck you Morgans need to stop, apparently, according to Kelsey Ballerini.
I think it's so impressive though that there's only ever one. Like
Yeah.
in that gap, there's only ever one person that shouts.
But there's always one. Do you know what I mean? In any
How does that happen? How does that happen where one person? Because it's a thing. Everyone knows that's what happens.
yeah. It's the law of averages, isn't it? There's always one. Wherever you go, whatever you do, like there's always one person that one has to ruin it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how is it only one?
Oh well.
How is that only one person that shouts it?
I mean, it's at least one. I mean, there might be a few more people who can only hear one, I guess. I don't know. But it's impressive. Unless they're being planted by the Kelsey Ballerini
See,
team.
I don't know. But then, no, I'm not suggesting that. But I just feel like other people, like, I don't know. I feel like people catch on and join in.
People want to be the person shouting in someone's video.
Exactly. And yet, they're not.
But surely you wouldn't want to be the one person that Kelsey Ballerini's, like, had a go at.
Well, yeah, now she's saying, no, don't do it.
Yeah, so you don't want to be that person that's gone to a Kelsey Ballerini gig, paid all that money, and she's had a go at you for shouting "fuck you, Morgan."
Isn't it in the live version, though, as well, on the live album?
Is it?
I'm sure you can hear it in the live.
Not even editing, they can get rid of it.
I think it's faint. Mm-hmm. Talking of things you should or shouldn't do at a gig. We have had our first negative Nelly.
Yes, come on. We love this.
Baby's first troll.
I'm so proud of you. Out of all the things you've done this year, this has been my most proudest moment of you.
What, getting a troll?
No, just the response.
No, I wish I'd thought about my response before I'd responded, because I could have been far funnier.
Hey, no one thinks about their response. And clearly no one thinks about what they comment, because she didn't. But anyway, I'll let you.
But, I mean, it doesn't need to be about the comment.
It doesn't.
We obviously, on the podcast last time, I had no voice. And I was explaining why I have no voice. It's back now. And
thanks for confirming.
There was a reel that went out on our TikTok about me saying I've never screamed anything so loud in my life, which I haven't. And someone who shall remain nameless has commented on it.
Go on.
It says, "'Cause we all pay to hear you scream the songs rather than the artist singing, ? And then I replied, because I can't help myself, I replied saying, "Sorry for having a good time. Won't happen again. Salute." And then she came back with,
"She's still going.
Just perhaps consider those around you who didn't pay to hear you screaming or see your back." And listen, right? I'm not arsed, but let me tell you, it was the encore for Dierks Bentley, Saturday night headliner. And not that you've asked, and because you haven't asked, because you're getting your back up over something you know nothing about. I was in a box. I had no one around me. And actually, my friend filmed me singing, and you can't hear it because the show is so loud, because everyone else is having a good time. So shut up about it. But the question is, and I've seen a lot of this discussion on the Facebook groups, should you stand up at a gig or not? If you've got seats, should you stand up or not?
I'm very much of the opinion of, if you want to stand up and have a good time, it all depends on where you are, right? If you're sat in the top and you stand up, but obviously there's other people to consider around you, and I get that, but at the same time, you're there to have a good time, and you've paid for your ticket. That might be, you might be the number one Dierks Bentley fan. You're sat in the heavens because you wanted to be there, and you want to be there for whatever song it is. You stand up and you have a good time.
Yeah,
like that's what you're there for. Like, like I said, I get that there's other people to consider, but at the same time, you're there because you want to enjoy the show and make the most of that experience. And I think actually, if you stand up, it might encourage some other people who might not be as forthcoming to also do the same.
Yeah. And I think like it's context, isn't it? It's what song was it? Where are you? Who is behind you? And I understand like there are access areas for people with disabilities, but some like it's hard to get those tickets. It's hard. So I do understand there are people dotted around the arena who maybe aren't necessarily able to stand up. But at the same time, there's people dotted around the arena who need to stand up. And on the ticket, it says people in front of you may stand up. Like that is your right as a ticket holder. If you want to stand up, then stand up.
Yeah.
If the person in front of you is standing up and you are a sitter, if you're a sitter and they're a stander and you're behind them, that's just unfortunate. That's the same as being next to someone who snores on the plane. What are you going to do? Tell people you can't sleep on a plane? Like, it's just, I'm sorry, that's just unfortunate for your experience of that gig.
Yeah. No, 100%. And people just got to do what they got to do.
Or,
Like,
like, what
we're all
are
paying.
O2 supposed to do? Have, like, a sitting section
It's not going to
for
happen.
sitters
But
only?
but you're always going to get someone that will want to stand up still because there'll be someone who wanted to stand, but they couldn't get a standing ticket, so they're now
Or
sitting,
their mate.
and they'll
Yeah, their mate is a sitter
yeah,
and they're a stand-up. Like, you just can't please everyone. But as if you're an artist, as a musician, do you want to look out into the crowd and see everybody sat down? Or do you want to look out into the crowd and see everyone on the feet having a good time? If they're
yeah,
able to do so.
and secondly, unknown TikTok troll, Georgette has a lovely voice,
Lies.
and anyone would pay good pennies to watch her sing.
I was going to comment like, that's silly. No one should pay to see me sing.
Unnamed TikTok user troll. Have you like the speakers are so loud? You
Honestly.
can't hear anything.
And also,
You can't
like,
hear anything.
basic physics. If you're behind me and I'm in front of you, my sound waves are going forwards.
Yeah.
That's why actually being backstage and side stage isn't the best place to be because the sound goes forwards, not to the side or to the back. So shut up.
And also, this person, you don't know who this person is. You have no idea, like, this recollection of anyone being around you that this may have been, just to put it
No,
out there.
I was literally
No.
like, there was no one behind me. Like, not
Yeah.
to be a dick and brag about it, but I was in a box. So
Yeah.
there was one row behind me that had one person on it, and she was having as good a time as I was, and she was up on her feet too. The people in the box next to me, there was like 3 in there, they were all on their feet. My 2 friends next to me, they were sat down because they're boring as fuck. But whatever. I was having a great time.
Yeah. That's all that
So,
matters. So I'm glad we put that to bed.
but it
But
is
hey,
like
look.
it is a hot topic at the minute, especially before and after C2C, of like whether you
Mm.
should or shouldn't stand at a gig. And I don't think this would be a conversation in the US.
It wouldn't be, but I think a lot we've got used to, especially in the country music scene, because of the venues that a lot of these artists are playing, there aren't the option to sit anyway.
Mm.
So I think we just get used to being ones that have to stand. And you stand and there's someone so tall, like in front of you, and it just is what it is. Like you just have to be accustomed to where you are
Yeah.
and just enjoy it. And I the standing thing doesn't bother me. Like doesn't bother me. It's more the excessively drunk people that are in your face and in your you know there's no room for you to move or just to enjoy it because you're
Yeah.
like, what the hell are they doing? Like that is the
And
problem.
we've
That the
spoken
standing
about
isn't the
like
problem.
talking through it as well. But I think
Yeah.
that's like specifically to the acoustic openers, like where you can't hear
Yeah.
through other people talking. And on the did we have this conversation last time about the grumpy lady next to me?
Possibly. I think we spoke about it as well with Carly Pearce when I said the story about the guy that shouted.
Yeah. Did I tell you about C2C though? So
No.
on the Friday
Did
night,
you?
we had our actual seats, which are back row seats, because I know that I like to stand and I am annoying, so I get the back row out of courtesy for the
Yeah.
rest of the 19,999 people that are at that arena. Anyway, not my point. There was a lady next to me, and Willow Avalon was playing, and I'm not fussed. Like, sorry, Willow, I'm sure you're great, but like, I didn't know any songs, and I'd had a few beers by this point, so I was chatting to the girl next to me, my friend, And this lady was like, "Excuse me, we've actually paid money to listen to the music." And I was like, "Oh God, so sorry." And just shut up immediately because I was like, that is fucking annoying. But then I sat there and stewed on it. And I was like, what does she mean? She's actually paid money. Like, does she think I've got here for free? Does she think I've paid money to not hear them sing? Because this is like the one time where I was talking and like fair fucks, it was annoying and I stopped immediately. But then she spent the entire rest of the evening glaring at anyone who spoke. And so Lainey Wilson's on. She's missing the entire performance because she's looking up and down the row and like glaring. And she's literally like leaning forwards and glaring at people. Like, no one gives a fuck because they're all having a good time. And I wanted to tap her on the shoulder and be like, babe, you're ruining your own night. Like, you're missing everything. Just let it go.
But then there's some people that just go looking for it at that point, aren't
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Like they just go looking for a fight, and they're looking for someone because they've done it once. They're like, oh yeah, I've got a bit of power now. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and I was just a bit like, you've now done this to yourself, and you've missed a whole entire Lainey Wilson gig, and I guarantee she'd go home and be like, oh God, people ruined it. They were talking all the way through it. It's loud enough. Like Lainey Wilson is loud enough as a headliner on the Friday night for you to just ignore the people talking next to you.
yeah.
But
Cry.
some people aren't as easygoing as us, Matt. So
Absolutely. Producer Mia's just put on the chat as well that a drunk man fell on the floor at Tucker Wetmore next to
oh
me.
God.
That's what I mean. People just get out of hand. Like you're
Yeah.
there to like, we can all have a drink and have a good time, but then there's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, why are you? There's that we just to tell this story. We had an experience when we went to see Taylor Swift. Um, there was a drunk couple, very like they were sleeping at one point on the seats. But at one point, they were getting so in the face of Charles' sister, and to the point where it was like, this is concerning. Stewards did nothing about it.
Really?
Nothing. Three times, did nothing about it. And they were like, in the end, they were literally like, they were asking for a fight, literally. And it took for people in the row behind us and the row in front of us to get the attention of the steward, who did nothing three times. They eventually chucked him out. But even then, when I went down to the toilet at one point, they were still just hanging around in the concourse, and I'm like, what do they have to do? Like they're literally in someone's face. Like it's not nice. Heavily drunk, they could have easily just fell down the stairs
Yeah.
easily themselves, and just being awful human beings. Like then you have stewards that are just clearly not willing or can't be asked to do their job.
I remember when we went to Ashley McBride and we were in the bar across the road and we could see the queue. This was like last Feb. We could see the queue. We were like, oh, can't be bothered. We're not bothered about being at the front. We'll just, when it starts to move, we'll go over. So we went over, honestly, with like 20 minutes to go. Got in, got a drink, and it was at the Apollo. So you've got the slanted floor, so it doesn't really matter. So we just like found a spot in the crowd, didn't push through at all, just kind of got in where we got in. And this woman taps us on the shoulder and she was like, excuse me, you're not going to stand there, are you? And we were like, well, yeah. And she was like, we've been queuing all day. And like, luckily, my friend was like, yeah, no, of course we'll move. Because I was a bit like, yeah, what? Not that I'd fucking do anything, but
No.
and I was like, sorry, you've been queuing all day and have somehow managed to get behind us, and we've just walked like we're not near the front, babe. The front's down there. Like, are you lost? It was just, it
Yeah.
was like she was like, we've been queuing all day. You're not going to stand there, are you? Well, did you queue for the right thing? Were you in a different queue? Because
What
you're
are
at the
they queuing
back of
for?
the like you're at the back of the room. Anyway,
They didn't. You should have told me you didn't have to queue all day for that.
yeah. Well, my friend that I was with was like, yeah, no, of course we'll move.
I mean, sometimes it's just easier, isn't it? But it's like, oh, get a grip, will ya?
Yeah, I wouldn't have backed down that easily, but probably would have cried.
What does she want? Did she queue all day for a telescope because she couldn't see from the back? Is that what she's doing?
Matt, you are not, you're awful.
What? Is that what she's doing? What's she doing?
Anyway. So, should you or shouldn't you stand at a gig is the question we are asking. I think, yes, get over it. But is that because I'm a stander? If I was a sitter, would I have the same impression?
Maybe we get a sitter on the show. Maybe we get a stand around a sitter and lock heads.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine? You didn't stay for Dirks, did you, on the Saturday? God, can you imagine an arena full of people sat down for Drunk on a Plane? I mean, really?
No, I know. I mean, there are certain songs which you just cannot be.
Can you
sitting
imagine
for.
sitting down for Bar Song Tipsy?
The whole arena stood up.
Like, not going to happen.
But at the same time, I guess, and I don't know these people, but I'm just to play devil's advocate here. There are probably people in there that probably might not know what Bar Song Tipsy is. I know they're probably living under a rock, but just to play devil's advocate there, like maybe there are people that like don't get it. I don't know.
What point are you making?
I'm not making. I'm just trying to say that like the whole arena was standing up, right? But and I agree with you. Why wouldn't you stand up for Bar Song Tipsy? But there might be that one person that we're talking about. There's always one that doesn't and just sits down for it.
Yeah, no, there will be a few people who are sat down for it, but like,
yeah, they're living under a rock. But like,
I just mean in general. Sure. Anyway, that is my rant over and out.
Thank you for tired after that.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
If you've been affected by this, then please get in touch with us at 65.country.
Right, are you ready for some? Have I got more country news for you?
I'm so ready for some quizzing. Let's see. We are level at 8-all, by the way.
Okay.
As we head into round 4.
Question number 1.
Okay.
Why was Ella Langley a hot topic last week?
Because she was videoed with potentially an engagement ring on her finger.
Correct. Well done.
I'll take that. One I'm happy with.
1 point. Russell Dickerson just played a show in Minneapolis, and at the end of the show, he said, "We're supposed to be done. That's the show over." But he played another song again. What song did he play for the second time that night?
I have no idea. I'm going to hazard a guess, though. Yours?
No. His new
one. Was
one.
it his new one? Oh, happens to me.
Yeah. He played it
Girls
twice.
just want to have fun. That one.
Have you noticed, sidebar, this kind of influx of, Taylor Swift started it. Well, I don't know if Taylor Swift started it, but Taylor Swift made it famous by giving the hats. And then Lainey Wilson does Cowgirl of the Night. And now Megan Maroney is doing Miss Universe or whatever she's doing. Russell Dickerson gives the WrestleMania wrestling belt out. Like, it's becoming a thing of like a bit in the show.
Carrie Underwood does it as well.
What does she do?
During All American Girl, she gets someone on stage to sing the chorus.
It's like a new thing.
I like it.
Tucker Wetmore did it with a drumstick. Oh my god, that sounds like a very last minute plan.
Yeah, a drumstick. That is rogue. That's like, could they not just usually just throw them things out, right?
Yeah. Okay, Lauren Watkins has revealed that she is releasing a new song on Friday, but what is it called?
Do you know what? I saw this email just before we were doing this. Oh, I know one word and it's 3 words. It's 3 words.
3 words.
It's like lost my cool or something.
I'll give you that. It's lose my cool.
Lose my cool. Get in. Come on.
Well done. You can have that.
Love that. Oh, I'm proud of that.
Right. This is the final question. But there's 2 points up for grabs. And there's also a bonus question that is tied in, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's not the real question, but I was just wondering if you knew the answer.
So it doesn't count.
But it kind of counts. So,
okay.
I know you're not a fan, but you can't have escaped this last week.
Okay.
What are the names of Morgan Wallen's 2 new songs? And a secret bonus question, how many, because you can now pre-save the album, how many tracks are on the new album? And I'll give you like plus or minus 3.
So one of the new songs is like Something Crazy?
Yeah.
With Crazy or something? I'm with Crazy? No?
I'm with Crazy? You think that's Morgan Wallen's new song? I'm with Crazy?
I have listened to it. I
will give you that. It's I'm a little crazy.
I'm a little crazy. See, I knew there was something in there. And I don't know the other song, but I think there are 37 songs on this new album.
There are 37 songs. The other song was Just in Case.
Just in Case.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel a bit better after that, actually.
Yeah, you've stormed ahead.
So how many points you give me
I'm
there?
just going to give you 4.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that indeed. That's okay.
Which I think I've been fair there because you didn't get the exact answer.
You have been very fair, and I appreciate it muchly. And when it gets to the end of the series and we see the final scores, it will be taken into account, don't you worry.
Okay, good.
And the scores will now be
13.
12.
Oh, why not? 9?
It was 8 all.
Oh, sorry,
It was
9
8 all.
all. 12, 8.
12-8. See what happens.
Yeah, Mia keeps us in check. You have been listening to Chatter Hoochee, a 65 Country podcast.
Remember to like, follow, subscribe to us at 65.country, and we are now on TikTok at Chatter Hoochee.